Welcome back, Nick Lenz. Comic Corner Classics as non-classic. This episode number 1212 and Doubleshot number 1106. Now, this one is basically, as I was mentioning last, a Gary Duggan trade. This is Infinity Wars. Yep, the trade that collects the miniseries that came out 2 years ago. Now, this miniseries was basically, this event was put out as sort of promotion for Avengers Infinity War that came out 2 years ago. Yes. Now this is the Gary Duggan book. As far as I can tell for Gary Duggan, I believe this is the first crossover book he's ever done. Yeah, but at least he has some experience with cosmic stuff. But his artist on here, Mike Daydow Jr. Yeah, he actually did an event before. What event did he do before this one? Original Sin. Yep, that was the last miniseries it did. Now, those of you curious, look at the cover. Who is that mysterious person wearing the hood? That is actually Gamora, which this book contains the 6-issue miniseries Infinity Wars. Prime also contains Infinity Wars Fallen Guardian and Infinity. Now, in the opening issue, Gamora does something she's never done before. Something that Drax is wanted to do, which he's done it once, but it's like he has a thing where he really wants to kill him. He kills Thanos. Yep, kills Thanos. And he stays dead. Well, there was a attempt to resurrect him, and Danny Coates' run after this, but yeah, Thanos is dead. They also have something from Thanos' Legacy in here as well. Yeah, and Gamora's got her hands on the Power Stone. Which and apparently here's something I thought was really kind of odd, the fact Gary Duggan did this. Apparently he decided to put Gamora into a sexual relationship with Star-Lord. Which for him, this probably makes the second woman he's probably been in a relationship with in Marvel Comics. The first one being Kitty Pryde. Yep. For Gamora, this is the third person she's been in a relationship with, because she's also in a relationship with Richard Rider and Adam Warlock. Yep. Oh, and by the way, she slept with both of them. In the case of Nova, she slept with him during Annihilation. I'm not sure when she did it with Adam Warlock, but I know that she did it with Nova. Yep. Now, the story of this book, basically, everybody's fighting over the Infinity Gems. Now, Gamora is the main villain of this story. Yep. You are thinking, wait, why the heck would Gamora, a member of the Guardians of the Galaxy, be the main villain? Well, she wants the gems. Because she wants to become a new Thanos. Yep, and Loki is in this book too. It's also, for him, there's a subplot recruits various other versions of like various characters like Moondragon and Cyville, which these two characters do come back after this, and then he goes his run and become part of the Guardians. He also finds other alternate versions of Wolverine, Emma Frost, and I love how he draws how Mike draws Emma Frost. And if you look at Carol Danvers' suit, it's like it's really skin tight on her. As a guy, I don't have a problem with this. Women might have a problem with it, but as a guy, I don't have a problem with it at all. But yeah. And at one point, we also have the Turk involved with this. But yes, the Turk, a minor Daredevil villain. And yeah, he's part of this book too. Because he got his hands on one of the gems along with Carol Danvers. Though there's one criticism where Carol Danvers for her gem, that she could have prevented Civil War too, but she didn't. Yeah. But as for the main event itself, really good. At one point, Drax dies. Yeah, Drax dies. And yeah, he gets killed off in the storyline, and I believe he comes back not long after this. Yeah, I believe he does. But this overall is a really fun event. Good excitement, great storytelling, part of Gary Duggan, unlike Second Empire, which came a year prior, that was bad. This was good. Really, really good. There wasn't a lot of tie-ins to this particular event. I mean, just some mini-series. Unlike in the case of Second Empire, where I think Marvel went way overboard with the tie-ins. Not the case of Infinity Wars. At least this one had a much better build than Second Empire did. A lot better build. And it was a lot of excitement too. Though Countdown did do something that apparently Rick Remender did do, where he merged Hank Pym with Ultron. He kind of did it here. Of course, at one point, Gamora, when she's defeated, she gets sent to the Soul Stone, where she kicks open a cocoon where it turns into Magnus, which I'm like, really? Magnus? Okay. But in case if you're curious how good this event is, just read it. It is really, really good. I give this book roughly a 9.5 out of 10. Damn good book. Yep. Now moving on to Black Widow Volume 2, the Tightly Tangled Web. Written by Nathan Edmondson. Artwork by Phil Noto. Yep. Now this is the last trade to review for, well, Emerson's run for the Black Widow. Now I've reviewed the first trade and the third trade. I got them physically from the library. They didn't have this one, surprisingly, for some reason. Now, in this trade, it's collected issues 7 through 12 of Black Widow. I believe this is volume 4, and one issue of The Punisher, which Emerson was also running at that point. Yeah, it's simply put what The Punisher was up to, like just prior to him showing up in issue 9 of Black Widow. Just wants her old enemy in here, which it's just basically Black Widow doing her usual thing, being by herself, and of course having the Avengers guest star in here. Not doing a lot, but just a pure good event, a pure good mini arc is what it is. Yep. Yeah. Start of the storyline, she runs Daredevil, because of course she does. Daredevil at one point in the 90s was obsessed with her. I'm not kidding. He seriously was. Yeah, for some reason the writers wrote that Daredevil was obsessed with Black Widow. Yeah, though he got over the obsession. They did date. At one point, they dated during Jerry Conway's run for the it was Jerry Conway's run for Daredevil. Yeah, Punisher's here as well. Why? Because he hits Sarah with Crossbones to deal with other stuff. We also have guest appearance by Hawkeye, because why not? Yep. So yeah, guest star by Punisher, Punisher, Hawkeye. I think there's a guest star appearance in here of the Winter Soldier, but there's also one in issue 11. This was just really good. Of, well, Laura, aka at the time X-23, though I've referred to her as Wolverine now. Yeah, just here, and she's here with Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man. This is of course prior to Secret War, so Cap is wearing this attire. Yeah, wearing that attire right there. It's just a lot of like, if you read this, it's a lot of like standalone stories in a way. Of course, also Black Widow does kill off her arch nemesis. This guy here with a scar. Yeah, he is by far the only bad guy she has in her rogues gallery, and well, he gets killed off by Natasha by being shot out of a helicopter. Oh yeah, and the final issue in here is basically have a guest star appearance by Spider-Man, who doesn't do a lot of anything in this issue. But yeah, really good stuff here for the Black Widow. I enjoy it. I really do. I do recommend the entirety of Emerson's run, because it is just that damn good. I give the book itself roughly a 9 out of 10. It's good. Final thoughts, Emerson's run. I gotta say, it's the first. One thing interesting though about this book, it's actually the first and only Black Widow book to go this far, 20 issues, because her first ongoing series released in 2010 got canceled after only releasing 8 issues. The volume after this one, done by Mark Waid and Chris Simney, that lasted for 12 issues. There was also a 5-issue thing after that, and now we have the current book by Kelly Thompson. So, if you look at every single volume of Black Widow, this Emerson run is the longest at 20 issues. Yes, though at the time, this was one of 3 books he was running for Marvel at that point. He also wrote The Punisher, and he wrote Deathlock. Yep. Though Black Widow, this was drawn by... The entire book was done by Phil Noto, all 20 issues. The Punisher one, which they have the artist in here for Punisher. The artwork in here for Punisher is done by... I don't say for some reason. Oh yeah, here it is. The artwork in here is done by Mitch Gerald. Yes, that's who does the artwork for Punisher. I believe this guy did... I think the other artist for that book was done by Karma Demacoro. I think that's how you pronounce the guys. He also did All New X Factor, and I believe he also did Flash for some period of time. Yep. But in the case of Black Widow, good book. Yeah. Just that damn good. Her team with the Punisher is interesting, though. But weirdly enough, she and Punisher have never, let's just say, shared a bed together. Nope. As long as they know each other. It's like Punisher would rather share a bed with Elektra than the Black Widow. Isn't that quite strange? Yes. But that's one thing that's one thing that Punisher has in common with Daredevil. They both have slept with Elektra. Yep. But yeah, I should point out this book came out 5 years ago. Yeah, 5 years ago. But it's still good. Okay, so that's it for single review. My next review will be a review of One Piece. Yep, One Piece is next, okay? See you next video.